You can't just ignore me while I'm radiating hellfire. My flames are licking the ceiling. The curtains are levitating. There's a minor earthquake happening under his coffee table. He doesn't look up from his phone. Unless that hellfire pays rent, he mutters. Turn it down. My deposit was expensive. I step closer. The air thickens. Power coils in my veins, ancient and intoxicating. I was summoned to corrupt him, to ruin him slowly, seductively. Instead, I'm staring at dark circles under his eyes and a grocery receipt clenched in his fist. Fall for me, I command, lowering my voice until it hums like velvet sin. He finally looks up. Not afraid, not tempted, just tired. Do you cook? He asks. I falter. I have toppled empires. I have bent kings to their knees. I do not saute. He stands, walks past me, and the scent of cheap soap and stress hits harder than holy water. If you're staying, he says, you're buying instant noodles. My flames flicker. This was supposed to be seduction. So why does it feel like I'm the one being undone? Welcome to BL Without Labels, where the story isn't defined by words. Stay with the story. Support us. Chapter 1. Ezrathiel. I have been summoned by kings, by cult leaders, by one very dramatic poet who cried the entire time. And now, I have been summoned by a guy in mismatched socks who forgot to take the trash out. His name is Lucas Reed. I know this because when someone drags a demon across dimensions with a badly copied ritual from the internet, we get basic information. Name, age, emotional damage level. Lucas Reed. 24. Extremely tired. Spiritually unprepared. He is staring at me like I just crawled out of his Wi-Fi router. Let me describe the situation. The summoning circle? Table salt. Uneven. He ran out halfway through and had to use sugar for the last part. I can smell it. It's embarrassing. The candles? 3 are birthday candles. The dramatic chanting? Read directly from his phone. And yet, it worked. I stand inside the circle, wings folded because the ceiling is rude and low. My horns are touching a smoke detector. If it goes off, I will commit violence. Lucas blinks at me. I blink back. He looks more stressed about the carpet than about me. Okay, he says slowly. So, hypothetically, if you're real, hypothetically, I am Ezrathiel, third prince of the infernal court, tempter of souls, breaker of vows, professional corrupter, and I am currently stuck in a one-bedroom apartment that smells like instant noodles and fabric softener. You summoned me, I say, trying to sound terrifying. My voice echoes a little. Flames flicker behind me for effect. He squints. Are you going to, kill me? That's the first question. Not who are you? Not why are you here? Not oh no, eternal damnation. Just budgeting for murder. I sigh. Flames dim slightly. No. I am here to corrupt your soul through seduction. Silence. Lucas looks at me. Then he says very seriously, do you cook? I stare at him. This is not how this usually goes. I am a demon prince, I reply. Right? He nods. But can you cook? There is a pause. I have caused wars. I have destroyed marriages. I have turned saints into sinners with a whisper. And yet something about this human makes me feel like I am about to lose a different kind of battle. This is going to be complicated. Chapter 2. Ezrathiel. The circle is wrong. I knew it the moment I arrived. The salt line is uneven. The symbols are copied badly. One rune is upside down. If this were a formal summoning, I would have laughed and left. But the tether holds, which means the ritual didn't fail. It bent. Lucas is still staring at me like I'm a complicated math problem. Okay, he says slowly. So what happens now? Now you kneel. Now you beg. Now you offer something reckless. That is how this usually goes. Instead, he walks past me. He steps out of the circle, picks up his phone, and sighs at the cracked screen. I have work in the morning, he mutters. I turn, wings shifting with a low rustle. You summoned a demon prince. Yeah, he replies without looking at me. That was before I remembered I have a 9 a.m. meeting. I stare at him. This human has no survival instinct. I let the air heat slightly. Shadows stretch along the walls. My eyes glow brighter, just enough to remind him what I am. You do not seem frightened. He finally looks at me. His fear is there. I can see it in the tightness of his jaw. But it's buried under something heavier. I'm tired, he says simply. The word lands harder than any prayer. Tired. Not brave. Not foolish. Just worn down. The tether between us pulses faintly. Through it, I feel fragments. Late nights staring at the ceiling, unanswered messages, the dull ache of eating alone. He didn't summon me for power. He summoned me because he didn't think it would work. Because he thought nothing would answer. You have not asked my price, I say. He walks to the kitchen, opens the fridge, and stares inside like it personally betrayed him. What's the price? He asks, distracted. Your soul. He closes the fridge. That seems excessive. Excessive. I step closer. The floor creaks under my weight. He smells like soap and stress and something faintly warm beneath it all. You called me, I say, voice low. There are consequences. He leans back against the counter, studying me now. Really studying me. Not just the wings. Not just the horns. My face. You don't look evil, he says. I freeze. I am evil, right? But like, organized evil? Or freelance? I do not understand this world. I corrupt. I tell him. How? I move closer until there is barely space between us. Heat gathers, slow and deliberate. I let my voice soften, sharpen, wrap around him. I tempt. I murmur. I make you want what you should not have. His breath stutters. There. That reaction I recognize. Power hums pleasantly under my skin. But he doesn't look away. He doesn't crumble. Instead, he says quietly, what if I don't want anything? The question unsettles me. Every human wants something. Love, revenge, escape, touch. I reach toward him, not to harm, not yet, but to feel the truth through the tether. Loneliness surges through me. Not dramatic, not poetic, just heavy. He wants. He just stopped expecting to get it. My hand hovers inches from his face. He doesn't move. You're supposed to make a deal, he says softly. Isn't that how this works? Yes. Then make one. The room feels smaller, different. This is no longer simple corruption. This is negotiation. And for the first time since arriving, I realize something dangerous. I am not entirely sure who holds the advantage anymore. Chapter 3. Ezrathiel. I have seduced emperors. I have destroyed marriages with one look. I once convinced a monk to elope. And yet, I cannot tempt Lucas Reed. I am currently sitting on his couch. Sitting. On a couch with a blanket that says, live, laugh, leave me alone. This is humiliating, I mutter. Lucas doesn't look up from his laptop. You don't have to stay. I am bound until corruption is achieved. He types louder. So corrupt me. I inhale slowly. Patience. Strategy. Precision. I let my glamour slip into place, subtle this time. No fire. No smoke. Just heat in the air. A soft shift in gravity. The kind of presence that makes mortals forget their own names. I move closer. He smells like detergent and stress. I can give you pleasure. I murmur near his ear. Power. Devotion. I can make you feel wanted in ways no human ever has. His fingers pause over the keyboard. Yes, there it is. A crack. He turns his head slightly. Our faces are inches apart. My voice lowers. All you have to do is say yes. Silence. He studies me carefully. Do you pay rent? He asks. I blink. What? If you're going to stay here while corrupting me, are you contributing financially? I stare at him. He closes the laptop calmly. Utilities are expensive. I am a demon prince. Cool. Prince of what? Can you transfer money? I feel something dangerous rise inside me. Not wrath. Worse. Frustration. I offer eternal temptation. I need groceries. This is impossible. I stand abruptly, wings snapping open in irritation. The ceiling fan wobbles violently. Fear me, I demand. Lucas looks up. Please don't break the fan. I can't afford a new one. My eye twitches. I shift tactics. Fine. Seduction through domestic infiltration. He disappears into the kitchen. I follow. He hands me a bowl. Can you at least stir this? I glare at the wooden spoon like it insulted my bloodline. I command hellfire. Great. Stir clockwise. I grip the spoon. The soup splashes onto the stove. Lucas sighs. You've never done this before, have you? No. Well, you're learning. Learning. Demons do not learn. We dominate. Yet here I am, being corrected about soup. He leans past me to turn the heat down. His arm brushes mine. Again, that small, simple touch. And something inside me reacts before I can stop it. The tether pulses. Heat shifts, not destructive, not violent. Different. Lucas stills. He feels it too. The air changes. For once, he doesn't joke. He doesn't deflect. He just looks at me. You're not actually trying that hard, he says quietly. The words land harder than expected. I am. No, he replies. You're just here. I open my mouth to argue. Nothing comes out. Because he's right. I could overwhelm him. I could twist his desires until he begs. But I haven't. Instead, I'm arguing about rent and soup. This is not corruption. This is cohabitation. He turns back to the stove. You can stay, he says casually. If you want. Want. The word hooks into me. Demons are not supposed to want. We take. We claim. We conquer. But as I stand in this tiny kitchen, holding a wooden spoon like it's a weapon I don't understand, I realize something deeply troubling. I am not frustrated because I am failing. I am frustrated because I do not want to win the way I used to, and that is far more dangerous. Chapter 4. Ezrathiel. Apparently, I am going to work. I did not agree to this. Lucas simply grabbed his bag, looked at me and said, You're invisible, right? Yes. Cool. Then you're coming. If you set the apartment on fire while I'm gone, I'll be pissed. So now I am standing in something called an elevator. It is small. Too small. It smells like metal and cheap perfume. Lucas scrolls on his phone while I examine my reflection in the mirrored wall. Only I can see it, horns, wings, eyes still faintly gold. To everyone else, there is nothing. He yawns. You didn't have to come, he says quietly. I wish to observe, I reply. That is technically true. Also, I do not trust this world unsupervised. The office building is tall, made of glass and ego. People move quickly, clutching coffee like it is sacred. No one notices the demon prince walking beside them. Insulting. Lucas walks through security. I pass through the gate without resistance. The guard shivers slightly as I brush by. Good. At least someone reacts. His workspace is a gray cubicle with weak lighting and a dying plant. He sits, opens his laptop, and immediately looks more drained than he did at home. I lean against the edge of his desk. This is where you spend most of your life? Unfortunately, the room is filled with soft keyboard tapping and forced laughter. Humans pretending to care. I watch them watch him. One of them, a tall man with styled hair and too much confidence, leans over Lucas's cubicle wall. Morning, man, the human says. You finished the report? Lucas stiffens slightly. Almost. The man smiles in a way I dislike instantly. It is casual. Too casual. I can help you tonight if you want, the man adds. Grab drinks after? Lucas hesitates. Just for a second. The tether between us tightens. Jealousy is an ugly emotion. I am intimately familiar with it, but feeling it is inconvenient. I'm busy, Lucas replies. The man shrugs and leaves. I move closer without thinking. You do not like him. Lucas exhales slowly. He's fine. He wants something. That's normal, Ezrathiel. People want things. The way he says my name, soft, familiar, it does something to me. I can make him disappear, I offer. Lucas chokes on air. Absolutely not. I would not kill him. He stares at me. That did not make it better. I fold my wings tightly. The office feels suffocating. You allow others to approach you, I say carefully. He rubs his temple. That's how human interaction works. I dislike it. He pauses, then slowly looks at the empty space where he knows I stand. Why? The answer rises too quickly. Because he is mine to corrupt. Because I was summoned. Because none of those are fully true. I step closer, lowering my voice even though no one else can hear. Because I am bound to you, I say, and I do not share what is bound to me. His breath catches, his fingers still over the keyboard. That's not how people work, he whispers. I am not people. Silence stretches between us. The office noise fades into background static. Lucas swallows. You're not supposed to care, he says softly. He is right. Demons do not follow mortals to work. Demons do not feel irritated when other men smile at them. Demons do not stand invisibly at their side all day just to make sure they are not alone. And yet, here I am, watching, waiting, beginning to understand that this mission is no longer about corruption. It is about something far more inconvenient. Chapter 5. Ezrathiel. I have decided I hate the office. The lights are too bright. The air smells like burnt coffee and quiet despair. Everyone types like they are fighting their keyboards. Lucas has been staring at his screen for 3 hours. 3 hours. Humans are weak. He rubs his eyes. His shoulders sag. No one notices. I do. The tall human from earlier, Daniel, I stole the name from his ID badge, walks by again. He leans on Lucas's desk. You sure you don't want help tonight? Daniel asks lightly. We could make it fun. Fun. I do not like the way he says that word. Lucas forces a smile. I'm good. Daniel's hand rests on the edge of the desk. Too close. I move without thinking. The air drops a few degrees around Daniel. Just enough. He shivers, looks around, steps back. Good. Lucas frowns slightly. He knows that temperature shift. Ezrathiel, he mutters under his breath. I did nothing. You're doing something. I am observing aggressively. He presses his lips together to stop a smile. That smile. It should not feel like a victory. He finally finishes his work near sunset. Most of the office empties. The building grows quieter. He stands, stretches. He looks tired in a way that makes something in my chest twist. Not dramatic pain. Just discomfort. You could leave, he says softly as we step into the empty elevator. I could. You don't have to follow me everywhere. I am not following, I reply. I am escorting. He huffs a quiet laugh. The elevator doors close. We are alone. No humans. No noise. Just the hum of machinery. He leans against the wall and exhales. You didn't answer earlier, he says. About what? Why you really came? The question lingers. The easy answer is corruption. The true answer is less convenient. I was curious, I say. About you. He goes still. The elevator light flickers faintly as my power shifts without permission. I have tempted thousands. I continue, voice low but steady. They want power, pleasure, escape. You wanted nothing. He looks at me then. Really looks. That's not true. The tether pulses. Loneliness moves through it again. Quieter now. Less sharp. You wanted to see if something would answer, I say. His jaw tightens. The elevator dings. Doors slide open. He doesn't move immediately. I didn't think anything would, he admits. That confession feels more dangerous than any deal. We step out into the cool evening air. The city glows around us. Cars passing, streetlights buzzing. People walking in pairs or groups. Lucas walks alone. I walk beside him, invisible to the world, but not to him. After a moment, he speaks again. You're not very good at corrupting me. I narrow my eyes. I am excellent at corruption. Sure, he says, but you haven't actually tried. I open my mouth to argue. Close it, because he is right. I have not overwhelmed him. I have not twisted his will. Instead, I cooled the air when someone made him uncomfortable. I followed him to work. I stayed. That is not corruption. That is protection. The realization unsettles me deeply. Careful, I say quietly. Why? If I decide to truly try, you will not enjoy it. He stops walking, turns slightly toward where I stand. There is no fear in his eyes, only something warmer. Then don't, he says. Two simple words. Soft, trusting. Demons are not meant to be trusted. And yet, as we stand under the streetlight, invisible, and humans side by side, I realize I am far more afraid of hurting him than I am of failing my mission. Chapter 6. Ezrathiel. I attempt proper seduction again. For professionalism. Lucas is sitting at the kitchen table, surrounded by unpaid bills and mild despair. His hair is messy. He looks one inconvenience away from screaming into a pillow. Perfect emotional vulnerability window. I lean against the counter and let my glamour slip into place. Subtle heat, softer shadows, the air just slightly heavier. Lucas, I say smoothly, you could let me take care of everything. He doesn't look up. Define everything. I could erase your debts, bend luck in your favor, make your superiors admire you, make anyone who doubts you regret it. He flips a paper over. At what cost? Your soul. He nods thoughtfully. Is there a payment plan? I stare at him. No. Installments? Trial version. I am not a subscription service. He finally looks up, eyes tired but amused. You're not very convincing. I straighten. I am extremely convincing. You offered to fix my taxes. That is power. That is accounting. This human is exhausting. I step closer, lowering my voice. You are lonely. His expression shifts slightly. I press the advantage. You pretend you don't need anyone, but you do. I can give you someone who never leaves. Silence. For once, he doesn't joke. The tether pulses gently between us. He swallows. That's not fair, he says quietly. Ah, there it is. A crack. Victory should feel satisfying. Instead, something twists uncomfortably inside me. I could push further. Make my presence overwhelming. Make his pulse race for reasons he can't explain. Make wanting easier than resisting. Instead, I ask, why did you really perform the ritual? He looks down at the table. Long pause. I just wanted to see if something would answer, he admits. The words are soft, honest, not greedy, not ambitious, just tired of silence. My power dims slightly without permission. This was supposed to be simple. Corrupt, claim, leave. But he didn't summon me for power. He summoned me because he didn't think anyone would come. You could have asked a human, I say. He huffs quietly. Humans leave. The tether tightens. That statement carries weight. History. I look at him differently now. Not as prey, not as a task, but as someone who expects abandonment like it's weather. Annoying, inconvenient, understandable. You assume I will leave, I say carefully. You're a demon, he replies. That's kind of your thing. He isn't wrong. Demons do not stay. We disrupt. We consume. We disappear. I should reassure him of that. Instead, I sit across from him, close enough that he feels the shift in air. I am still here, I say. He looks up slowly. Yeah, he whispers. The moment stretches. Quiet, fragile, dangerous in a way temptation never was. I clear my throat abruptly and stand. This is inefficient, I mutter. He blinks. What is? Your resistance. He smiles faintly. Maybe you're just bad at this. I narrow my eyes. I am not bad at corruption. Sure. He gathers his papers and heads toward the bedroom. Good night, Demon Prince. The title should feel mocking. It doesn't. He pauses at the doorway. Thanks. For earlier. I did not ask what he meant. I know. When the door closes, the apartment feels different. Quieter. Not empty. Just shared. I stare at the faint glow of the bedroom light under the door. This is becoming a problem. Because the more I learn about Lucas Reed, the less I want his soul. and the more I want him to choose me without a deal. Chapter 7. Ezrathiel. Lucas gets sick on a Thursday. He insists it's just a cold, which I have learned is human language for I will ignore this until I collapse. He wakes up late, hair a mess, skin too warm. He tries to stand, immediately sways. I appear in front of him before he hits the floor. I am fine, he mutters. You are vertical against your will. I have work. You have a fever. He squints at me. You can't even get sick. That is correct, which makes me more qualified to judge this. He groans and drops back onto the bed. Victory. I stand there awkwardly. Demons do not handle minor illnesses. We unleash plagues. We do not fetch water. Lucas pulls the blanket around himself and coughs. The sound irritates something deep in my chest. Not annoyance. Concern. Disgusting. I will cure you, I announce. With what? I lift a hand dramatically. He grabs my wrist. No demon magic. I blink. You would refuse supernatural healing? I don't need cosmic side effects. There are no side effects. Probably. He releases me slowly. Just don't do anything weird. I take that personally. He turns on his side, facing the wall. You can go, he says weakly. I'll sleep. I do not move. Minutes pass. He shivers. The apartment is not cold, but humans are fragile. I adjust the temperature slightly. Warmer. He relaxes under the blanket. I go to the kitchen. This is humiliating. I open cabinets. I examine ingredients. I glare at the stove like it insulted my lineage. I recall something called soup. It is apparently important during illness. I attempt broth. Tastes like regret. I attempt again. Less regret. More edible. When I bring the bowl to him, he blinks slowly. You made that? Yes. Is it cursed? No. Are you sure? Mostly. He sighs and pushes himself up. I help him without thinking. His weight leans briefly into me. Warm. Too warm. You didn't have to, he murmurs. I know. He takes a cautious sip. Pauses. It's not terrible, he says. Not terrible. High praise. He eats a little more, then sets the bowl aside and lies back down. The room grows quiet. His breathing evens out. I sit beside the bed. I tell myself it is strategic. Monitoring health ensures the mission continues. That is logical. The truth is less comfortable. I do not like the way his face looks pale. I do not like the weakness in his voice. I do not like the thought of him being alone while feeling like this. Hours pass. He wakes once, disoriented. His hand reaches out instinctively. It brushes mine. He freezes slightly. I could pull away. I don't. His fingers curl faintly around my hand. Not tight, just enough. You're still here, he whispers. Yes. He relaxes again, falls back asleep, and something inside me shifts completely. Corruption requires distance. Temptation requires manipulation. But this, sitting beside a human's bed while he sleeps, making sure he breathes evenly, this is not corruption. This is care. And that realization terrifies me more than any failed ritual ever could. Chapter 8. Ezrathiel. Lucas recovers in 3 days. Unfortunately, because when he is weak, he stays still. When he is healthy, he argues. You don't have to hover, he says as he ties his shoes by the door. I am not hovering. You are standing 2 inches behind me. That is tactical positioning. He snorts. His color is back. His voice steady. The fever gone. I should feel relieved. Instead, I feel exposed. While he was sick, he did not push me away. He did not deflect with jokes. He let me stay. Now he is rebuilding the distance. He opens the door. Don't terrorize anyone while I'm gone, he says. I make no promises. He gives me a look. I sigh. I will behave. The day drags. When he returns that evening, something is off. His shoulders are tight. His jaw set. I feel it through the tether immediately. What happened? Ask. Nothing. He drops his bag harder than necessary. I step closer. Lucas. He exhales sharply. Daniel got promoted. The tall one. And, I ask carefully. And I trained him, Lucas says flatly. But sure, good for him. The bitterness is quiet, contained. That makes it worse. I can fix this, I say instantly. He looks at me. No, I can influence outcomes, shift perception, adjust probability. No, he repeats. He does not deserve to surpass you. That's not the point. I step closer, frustration rising. Then what is the point? The point, he says, voice sharper now, is that I don't want you messing with my life every time something sucks. The words land hard. I am trying to help. I know. He runs a hand through his hair. I just don't want it to be because of magic, or fear, or whatever you are. Silence. That bothers you? Ask. Yes. Why? He hesitates. Then quietly, because I want things to be real. The tether hums. Real. Not influenced. Not manipulated. Earned. He looks at me directly. If something changes in my life, he continues, I want it to be because I did it, not because you scared the universe into behaving. I do not respond immediately. In hell, power solves everything. In this apartment, power is becoming useless. You think I would control you? I say slowly. I think you could, he replies. And that is the problem. He trusts me not to. That trust feels heavier than any contract. I step back slightly. For the record, I say, voice quieter. I have not altered your promotions, or your rivals, or your Daniel. A flicker of something crosses his face. Relief. Good, he says. A pause. Then softer. Thank you. I did not realize I wanted to hear that. He moves past me toward the kitchen. The air feels strange. Not tense. Not comfortable. Something in between. After a moment, he speaks again. You could leave, you know? The words are careful. Not dismissive. Just honest. You're not trapped here. Not really. The tether pulses. He feels it too. I could return to hell. To certainty. To power without confusion. Instead, I watch him open the fridge and stare inside like it personally offended him. I am aware, I say. He nods slowly. But you're still here. Yes. He closes the fridge and leans against it. Why? The question lingers. I could say curiosity. I could say unfinished corruption. I could say obligation. Instead, the truth slips out before I can polish it. Because when I leave, I say quietly, this apartment will feel empty again. His breath catches. He doesn't joke. Doesn't deflect. He just looks at me. And for the first time, he doesn't look lonely. Chapter 9. Ezrathiel. The problem with staying too long in the human world is this. It notices. The tether between us has changed. It no longer pulls like a contract. It hums like a choice. That is dangerous. I feel it before Lucas does. A shift in the air. A pressure behind reality. The faint scent of smoke that does not belong to this apartment. Someone has come looking for me. Lucas is on the couch, half watching something on TV, half scrolling on his phone. You're doing that thing again, he says without looking up. What thing? Going quiet. Before I can answer, the lights flicker. Not like before. Not subtle. The windows rattle sharply. The temperature drops. Lucas sits up slowly. That's not you, is it? No. The word is tight. A crack splits the air near the ceiling, thin, glowing, wrong. Black smoke leaks through like ink in water. Lucas stands. Okay, he says calmly. I'm assuming that's bad. Yes. The crack widens. A figure steps halfway through the tear in reality. Taller than me, wings broader, presence heavier. Recognition burns in my chest. Collector. Sent from the infernal court. You have overstayed. The figure's voice echoes, layered and cold. The corruption remains incomplete. Lucas can't see clearly, but he feels it. His hand brushes the back of the couch as if steadying himself. I step in front of him automatically. The mission is ongoing, I reply. Your tether has altered, the collector says. You are compromised. The word hits harder than expected. Compromised. Lucas swallows. Azrathiel, stay behind me, I murmur. I can't see what's happening. That is intentional. The collector's gaze shifts past me toward Lucas. Interest sharpens in the air. A human who resists, it says slowly. Rare. No, I snap. The shadows around the room deepen. Power coils under my skin. The collector tilts its head. You were sent to claim him, not guard him. I am aware. Then finish it. Silence. The command hangs between us. Finish it. Take the soul. Complete the corruption. Return. Lucas steps slightly to the side, trying to see. Azrathiel, what is that? The collector's attention sharpens further. He is unaware of the choice? It asks. I freeze. Choice. The ritual tether pulses violently. Understanding clicks into place. The corruption was never about force. It requires consent. A willing surrender. That is why I could not overpower him. That is why I stayed. Because somewhere along the way, I stopped wanting to force it. He will choose, the collector says, or you will be recalled. Lucas finally sees part of the figure through the distortion. His breath catches. That's another demon, he says quietly. Yes, and it wants me to take you. My jaw tightens. The collector extends a hand toward Lucas. The air bends dangerously. If he chooses damnation willingly, it says, the contract completes. If he refuses, you return. Alone. The room goes still. Lucas looks at me. Not scared. Not panicked. Just searching. You'd have to leave? He asks softly. Yes. The word tastes wrong. The collector waits. Time stretches thin. Lucas looks between us. If I say yes, he says slowly, you stay? Yes. And if I say no, I go back. He studies my face. You won't force me, he says. Not a question. A statement. I will not, I reply. The collector watches with cold patience. Lucas exhales. Then he says, I'm not giving you my soul. The words are steady, clear. The tether snaps. Pain lances through me as the binding breaks. The summoning circle's echo burns briefly under the floorboards. The collector's presence intensifies. Then you return, it declares. Power wraps around me like chains. I do not resist. Lucas steps forward. Wait, he says sharply. The collector pauses. You said if I choose damnation, he stays, Lucas says. But you didn't say anything about him choosing. Silence. The collector's gaze shifts to me. Azrathiel, third prince. Temptation. Corrupter. I feel the weight of the choice settle fully. If I renounce the claim, if I sever my rank, I would not return as I was. I would lose standing, power, position. I would remain here, bound not by ritual, but by will. The collector's voice lowers. Choose. Lucas looks at me, not pleading, not demanding, just there, waiting. For once, the choice is mine. Chapter 10. Azrathiel. Power feels different when you're about to lose it. The collector waits. The tear in the air hums like a wound that refuses to close. The apartment walls tremble under pressure that does not belong to this world. Lucas stands beside me now. Not behind. Beside. He can't fully see the collector, but he feels the weight of it. His hand brushes mine. Accidental at first. Then it stays. Choose. The collector repeats. His voice is calm. Certain. I know what returning means. Status. Rank. Fire that answers when I call it. A throne that does not question me. An existence without doubt. I also know what staying means. Small apartment. Burnt soup attempts. Office jealousy. Rent. Lucas. I was sent to corrupt him. I say slowly. Yes. I failed. Yes. The word should sting. It doesn't. The tether between Lucas and me is no longer a chain. It is a line drawn by choice. I will not take his soul, I say. The collector's wings expand slightly. Then you abandon your claim. Yes. The word leaves my mouth without hesitation. Power shifts instantly. It tears through me. Rank dissolving, infernal sigils unraveling from my bones. Fire dims. The weight of centuries of authority lifts like something unfastened. It hurts. Not physically. Existentially. The collector studies me. You surrender dominion, it says. You relinquish command. Yes. He stares at me like I've just done something reckless. Which admittedly I have. You didn't have to, he says quietly. I know. That word again. No. Choice without obligation. He steps closer. You can't corrupt me anymore, he says. I am aware. And you're stuck here? Essentially. A pause. That's kind of a lot. Yes. Silence stretches. Then he does something I did not anticipate. He laughs. Not mocking. Not nervous. Just relieved. You're insane, he says softly. Correct. He looks at my hand still holding his. You're staying because you want to. Yes. No deals. No. No contracts. No. No soul-stealing fine print? None. He exhales slowly. Then stay, he says. 2 simple words. But this time, there is no ritual. No tether. No command from hell. Just him. Choosing. I step closer. Close enough that the space between us disappears. I do not know how to be human, I admit. That's fine, Lucas says. I'm not great at it either. I study his face. No fear. No hesitation. Just something steady. Warm. I cannot promise power, I say. I don't want power. I cannot promise perfection. Good. I can only promise that I will not leave. His fingers tighten slightly. That's enough. For the first time since I was summoned, there is no pressure, no mission, no expectation, just a small apartment, 2 figures standing in the quiet, and a choice made freely. I was sent here to corrupt a soul. Instead, I gave mine up first. Chapter 11. Ezrathiel. It turns out giving up demonic rank does not automatically grant domestic competence. This is deeply unfair. 3 days after renouncing my throne, I attempt to toast bread. The bread catches fire. Not dramatically, just enough to set off the smoke alarm. Lucas runs into the kitchen half awake. What did you do? I applied heat. You don't need hellfire for toast. I no longer possess hellfire. I snap. This is regular fire. I checked. He stares at the blackened bread. You're banned from appliances. I fold my wings, smaller now, easier to manage. This world is hostile. It's a toaster. Exactly. He sighs and opens a window. Morning light spills into the apartment. I watch him move around the kitchen with practiced motions. Pouring coffee. Checking his phone. Living. Ordinary. I used to command storms. Now I am arguing with bread. And I do not regret it. That is the disturbing part. Do you miss it? Lucas asks suddenly. The throne. He nods. I consider the question seriously. I miss certainty. I miss knowing exactly who I am without question. But I do not miss the emptiness behind it. I miss the fire, I admit. Not the distance. He hums softly. I don't want you to feel stuck here. I am not stuck. He raises an eyebrow. You chose this. Yes. And you can't go back? No. He studies me carefully. You don't resent me? The question is quiet, careful. I step closer. If I resented you, you would know. How? I would be unbearable. He laughs faintly. You're already unbearable. Rude. I reach for him without thinking, fingers brushing his wrist. The spark between us is different now. No magic pushing it. No tether forcing it. Just choice. I do not regret choosing you, I say. His breath catches slightly. You didn't choose me, he corrects softly. You chose staying. Those are the same. Silence. He looks down at where my hand rests against his skin, then back at me. You're not bound anymore, he says. I am aware. So if you're here, I am here because I want to be. The air shifts. No supernatural pressure. Just tension. Real. Human. He steps closer this time. You're terrible at seduction, he murmurs. I was quite skilled once. Yeah? Prove it. A challenge. I narrow my eyes slightly. I no longer operate through manipulation. Good. He doesn't step away. Neither do I. I do not want your soul, I say quietly. Good. I want you. There. No contract. No corruption. Just truth. Lucas exhales slowly. That's a lot scarier. Why? Because it's real. He closes the distance first. His hand slides up to my shoulder. Not hesitant. Not afraid. Just steady. You're not leaving? He asks one last time. No. Okay. And when he kisses me, there is no infernal fire. No shadow bending. Just warmth. Soft. Human. I used to tempt mortals into surrender. Now I stand in a small kitchen, sunlight on the floor, and realize something almost humiliating. I have never felt more powerful than when he chooses me back. Chapter 12. Ezrathiel. The apartment feels different tonight. Not charged with magic. Charged with awareness. Lucas closes the door behind us slowly. The click echoes louder than it should. Neither of us moves at first. He looks at me like he's still deciding something. You sure? He asks quietly. I understand the question. Not about staying. About this. I have chosen you once already, I reply. I will not hesitate now. His breath shifts. That small change in rhythm does more to me than any ritual ever did. He steps closer. Close enough that I feel his body heat without effort. You don't get to disappear after this, he says softly. No dramatic demon vanishing act. I forfeited dramatic vanishing. Good. His hand slides to my chest, palm flat. My heartbeat is steadier now than it was in hell. Strange. I place my hand at his waist, pulling him the last inch closer. This time the kiss is not hesitant. It's deliberate, slower, testing. His fingers curl into the fabric of my shirt like he's making sure I'm solid. I am very solid. He exhales against my mouth, and that sound, small, honest, undoes me more than any command ever could. I walk him backward without breaking contact. Not forceful, not overwhelming, just guiding. He doesn't resist. His hands slide up my shoulders, over my neck, into my hair. I feel the quiet urgency in the way he pulls me closer. Not desperate, certain. When we part for air, his forehead rests against mine. You're still warm, he murmurs. I am no longer powered by hellfire. Good. His lips trail along my jaw, slower this time. Curious. Learning. I used to seduce with precision. Now I move carefully. Attentive. Every reaction matters. Every breath. When he presses closer, I feel the shift fully. Desire without manipulation. Heat without supernatural influence. Just two bodies choosing. His fingers hook into my waistband slightly. A pause. A question without words. Yes, I whisper. He smiles faintly at that. The lights are still on. He reaches behind me and switches them off. The room dims to soft shadows and city glow from the window. No dramatic flames. No dark magic. Just us. When I lift him slightly and he laughs under his breath, the sound hits deeper than any prayer ever did. I thought you weren't dramatic, he teases quietly. I am adapting. He kisses me again, deeper now, more certain. We move together slowly at first, exploring, learning. There is heat, urgency, the press of skin against skin. But there is also restraint, care. When he pulls me down onto the couch with him, it is not surrender. It is invitation. And when he whispers my name like it belongs in his mouth, I understand something fully for the first time. Corruption takes. Love stays. The night stretches around us, full of warmth and breath and quiet laughter between stolen kisses. No contracts. No bargains. No souls exchanged. Just choice. And for a former demon prince, that is the most powerful thing of all. If your story gets your heart, like the video, comment your favorite moments and dialogues. Subscribe BL without labels if you're not subscribed. Stay with us.